Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Good morning also to those who are watching us online on YouTube. So, the DPWH-Surigao del Norte, Second District Engineering Office will conduct an open bid scheduled today for 5 advertised projects. So, before we proceed, ask everyone to bow our head. Let us be in the manner of prayer. Father in heaven, we thank you for this day. Salamat Lord sa blessings, protection, abot mo din yung God. You continue to bless us sa tanong pagkabuhaton. Mga pinamuhin ng Lord, ikaw continue pag-bless ka na po. Bisan pa man sa PBT na pagkabuhaton. We pray, yan ang give us Lord sa heaven to wisdom mo God para ma-decide kami yung what is right. Salamat sa tanan, banal sa inyong gandang dimay, Jesus. Amen. Can I ask the Engineer for the leading attendance?
Good morning, Mr. Chair. Good morning, everyone. May I now attendance for this morning, bid opening conference date, June 9, 2026, venue, back conference from DPWH-Surigao del Norte, Second District Engineering Office, Surigao City. We have our back chairman, Engineer Arnel Sicapina, our back vice chairman, Samson Esatico Jr.
Present.
Our back members, Engineer Recto Idira Jr., Engineer Steve L. Cabrera, and Engineer Kiso F. Quitano Jr. We 5 out of 5 members are present. The back is in quorum. And we have also our head of back secretariat, Ma'am Maria Akbena A. Vivero. Back secretariat members, yours truly, Walter Ilarinsa, and Ma'am Jeanette P. C. Cromit. And we have also our back TW member, Ma'am Carol G. Argilias CPE. And we have also our observer from Rich Foundation, Ma'am Marilyn C. Lansen. And also, we have our ICT staff, Ma'am Jeannie Pidarsi, and also our representative from contractors, Karen M. Gutierrez from ETE Dumlao Construction, Ma'am Krishna Mi C. Borja from LBRO, and Joy Luzano LBRO also, and also Ma'am Aliana Grace Amuncio from Amalgo Construction. That's all, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Hearing the office in quorum, so we will proceed with the activity. So the first contract that we're going to open, 25 NG0135. But before that, I want to ask the Secretariat if there are contractors submitted to online submission of bid.
Sir, there was no contractor participated in the online bidding, sir. Online submission.
And then first. So for the first contract, 25 NG0135, Last Mile School Program, CAGUTSAN Elementary School, Surigao City, Surigao del Norte, with an ABC of 21,926,416.33 centavos. A contract duration of 190 calendar days. For this contract, we have one contractor permitted with the AT Dumlao Construction Incorporated. As for contract profile processing result, in terms of AT Dumlao, legal aspects, mayor's permit, December 31, 2026. The CDA, January 20, 2062, their tax clearance, October 13, 2026, previous registration, August 14, 2026, vehicle license, September 29, 2027, vehicle registration, September 9, 2027, work experience bus, NMCC bus. So we will now open the technical documents from DPWH Construction Incorporated. Contract ID 25 NG 135. And I ask Engineer Walter Garriosa to read the document.
Good morning once again. I will now read the original technical documents for the ATA Dumlao Construction Incorporation for the project 25 NG 0135. Project name Last Mile Schools Program, CAGUTSAN Elementary School, Surigao City, Surigao del Norte, Barangay CAGUTSAN, Surigao City, Surigao del Norte. Attached herewith is the PhilJIP's Certificate of PhilJIP Registration, Platinum Membership. This certificate is valid until August 14, 2026. Signed. Second page also signed. Annex A, list of eligibility documents. SIC certificate. Registration date, January 20, 2012. Mayor's permit. Expiration date, December 31, 2026. Tax clearance, expiration date, October 13, 2026. Audited financial statement, date of filing, March 28, 2026. Pickup license, expiration date, September 29, 2027. Signed. And also, certificate of incorporation, signed. Business permit, tax clearance certificate, signed. The statement of management responsibility for financial statement with the pertinent documents are signed. Comparative statement and of comprehensive income, signed. Company information, signed. Annual income tax return, signed. Regular contract. All the mentioned documents are signed. And also, attached here with regular contractor's license or a pickup, signed. A statement of all ongoing government and private contracts, statement of all ongoing government and private contracts, signed. Signed on every pages with notarized. with attached pertinent documents, the notice of award, notice to proceed, contract agreements, notice of award, notice to proceed for the contract agreements, contract agreements, acknowledgement, signed and notarized, notice of award. All the pertinent documents are signed. Notice to proceed. Contract agreement. Signed. Notice to proceed. Contract agreement. And that is LCC. Single large completed contract. Signed. With attached notice of award, notice to proceed. Each and every documents are signed. Contract of agreement. Signed. Certificate of completion. Signed. Certificate of acceptance. Signed. NFCC computation also signed. Financial documents for eligibility check. Signed. Attached here also the ISO 9001 certification. Signed. And also the valid joint venture agreement, not applicable. The bid security, bid securing declaration, signed. Second page, signed. And also the third page, signed and notarized. The project requirements, the organizational chart attached. Contractors organizational chart for the contract. Signed. Contractors key personnel. The contractor certification of key personnel for the contract. For the project manager. Signed. The letter of nominee for project manager. Also signed. Project manager certificate of employment. Also signed. The second page also signed and notarized. The biodata signed. With attached facial receipt and the PRC ID and the CEDULA signed. Letter of nominee for project engineer signed. Project engineers, resident engineer certificate of employment signed. Second page also for the certificate of employment signed and notarized. Biodata for the project engineer signed. And the second page also signed. Employment report signed. With attached appropriate PRC ID and PTR signed. Also attached certificate of accreditation for the provisional project engineer signed. Letter of nominee for materials engineer signed. Project material engineer certificate of employment signed. The second page signed and notarized. Biodata also signed. The employment record of the materials engineer also signed. With attached the PRC ID, the certificate of accreditation for the materials engineer 1, and also the PTR attached signed. Letter of nominee for electrical engineer signed. Electrical engineer certificate of employment signed. Second page also signed and notarized. Biodata signed. Education or employment record signed. And the certification also signed. with attached the PRC ID and the PTR OR signed. Letter of nominee for master plumber, signed. Master plumber certificate of employment, signed. Second page also signed and notarized. Biodata, signed. The employment record of the master plumber, signed. And with attached here is the PRC ID and the PTR OR. Letter of nominee for foreman, signed. Foreman certificate employment, signed. And the second page of the certificate of employment for the foreman, signed and notarized. Biodata for the foreman, signed. We attach the national ID and driver license, signed. Letter of nominee for construction safety and health officer, signed. Construction safety and health officer certificate of employment, signed. The second page of the certificate of employment, signed and notarized. Biodata for the construction safety and health officer, signed. Employment record also signed. We attach the SSS ID and the Pag-ibig ID attached and signed. Also attached here is the certificate of completion for construction of safety training, signed. For contractors, major construction and laboratory equipment. List of contractors, major construction and laboratory equipment units to be assigned to the contract supported by certification of availability on cutting outfit, bar cutter, welding machine, electric driving, one bagger mixer, bar binder, plate compactor. Also signed. On the second pages and third pages, page 8 are signed. Attached also here, sales invoice, cash sales invoice, and sales invoice. All mentioned documents are signed. Attached also the statement of availability of major construction equipment, signed and notarized. Also attached here is the list of contractors' equipment pledged to the contractor, the standard safe testing, brush, mortar and pestle, spatula, graduated cylinder plastic, 500 ml capacity, moisture cans with cover, glass plate for plastic limit test, liquid limit device, compaction mold, diameter 6 inches, and drummer, fill density test, chisel, sand scoop and spoons, straight edge, tripod beam balance, wire mesh basket, concrete cylinder mold, concrete beam mold, soil, post hole, sand absorption cone, and tamper, shovel, thermometer, breaker, digital weight scale, quadruple beam balance, concrete cylinders, and melting pot. All mentioned documents are signed. Certification also signed. Inspection report for material testing equipment also signed. Second page for the inspection report also signed. Attached also here is the sales invoice, signed, sales invoice, sales invoice also. All mentioned documents are signed. Certification of availability of the minimum materials testing equipment, signed and notarized. For the affidavit of site inspection, attached here with affidavit of site inspection, signed and notarized, with adjutant pictures, signed. Attach also the omnibus sworn statement. The omnibus sworn statement signed is attached. And also the second page for the omnibus sworn statement signed and notarized. The secretary certificate signed and notarized. Latest general information sheet. The general information sheet also the GIS is signed. General information sheet for stock corporation signed. General information sheet. All the mentioned documents are signed. And signed and notarized. And also the beneficiary ownership declaration is signed. That's all, Mr. Ram.
DPWH Construction Incorporated comply this technical component as read.
We will now open the financial document from DPWH for contract ID 26 and 11. Then the leading for copy in 10. Financial, what you want and you. For the original financial component of DPWH Construction Incorporation for contract ID 26 name, contract location. Correct. Dali lang. Check natin. Verify tayo. Can I check the second copy? See. Okay, as per submitted documents on financial documents submitted by DPWH Construction for contract ID 26900020. Contract name, ako lang check ako pagkakuan. So they have submitted the wrong contract ID and wrong contract, wrong financial document. So we will declare this fake. We will not accept this billing documents. We will proceed with the second contract ID. 25NG0136. Then contract. Client contract location, contract name, 25NG0136 plus miles program, the Rosario, yes, BACUAG Surigao del Norte. Being an ABC of 17,500,000. And the contract duration 270 days. So for this contract ID, for contract ID 125NG0136, we have two contractors, the Migo Construction and the LBLO Construction and Supply. So for the contract, for contract profile practicing result, for these two contractors in terms of legal aspects, Migo Construction valid until December 31, 2026. DPWH CDA July 10, 2030, bear tax clearance April 21, 2027, buildings registration February 12, 2027, vehicle license January 10, 2028, vehicle registration 4/24, 2028, work experience pass, NFCC pass. So we will first ako sa Elvero Construction, Mayor Permit, September 31, 2026, DTI CDA, September 18, 2028, Bell Tax Clearance, November 7, 2026, Student Registration, May 21, 2027. Or walang kwan, get yung page there. Technical and financial ng kwan. Elvero. For technical and financial aspects, LBRO, vehicle license July 29, 2026, vehicle registration May 3, 2027, work experience pass and CC pass. So we will now open the documents, technical documents from legal construction. For contract ID 25 pages in 136.
For the original technical components for the legal construction. Okay, for the project 25NG0136. Contract name Last Mile School Program, Santo Rosario Elementary School, Santo Rosario Elementary School, BACUAG, Surigao del Norte. Attached here with a certificate of LGET registration, platinum membership. This certificate is valid until February 12, 2027. Signed. Second page, also signed. Attached also the Annex A, list of eligibility documents, DTI certificate, expiration date July 10, 2030, mayor's permit, expiration date December 31, 2026, tax clearance expiration date April 21, 2027. Audited financial statement, date of filing April 22, 2026. PCAV license expiration date January 10, 2028. Signed. Also attach the DTI certificates and signed. The mayor's permit, mayor construction signed. Tax clearance certificate attached and signed. Certificate of registration or the ISO 9001 2015 signed. Attach also the statement of all its ongoing government and private contract, including contracts awarded but not yet started for Migo Construction, signed. And second page also signed. Also attached here is the notice to proceed, contract agreement, and the acknowledgement, signed and notarized, bill of quantities, signed, notice to proceed, contract agreement, bill of quantities, acknowledgement received, notice of award. All mentioned documents attached were signed. Also attached here is the statement of single large complete contract, similar to the contract to be bid. Signed. Certificate of final acceptance, signed. Final acceptance inspection report, signed. Also, certificate of completion, signed. Certificate of acceptance, final completion inspection report, notice of award, notice to proceed, attach and sign the contract agreement, signed, and acknowledgement. The acknowledgement are signed, all mentioned documents are signed and notarized, the acknowledgement. And also attached here is the PCAG, the regular contractor's license. Attached also the bid securing declaration, attached, signed, and the second page signed and notarized, sworn disclosure of relation and beneficial ownership, signed and notarized contractor's organizational chart for the contract, signed, list of contractors, key personnel to be assigned to the contract with their qualification data, signed. Also the qualification of key personnel proposed to be assigned to the contract, signed. Attached also the letter of nominee for project manager, signed. Key personnel affidavit of commitment to work on the contract, signed and notarized. The work experience of Migo construction personnel, signed. The second page also signed for the work experience. We attach also the PRC ID for architect and the master plumber, also the PTR attached and signed. Letter of nominee for project engineer signed and attached. Attached also key personal affidavit of commitment to work on the contract, signed and notarized. The work experience attached and signed with PRC ID, driver's license ID, and the PTR attached and signed. Also attached here is the department order number 126 for the accreditation. Attached, signed, Also attached here is the report of rating, signed, letter of dominion of materials engineer, attached, signed, key personnel affidavit of commitment to work on the contract, signed, the work experience of Migo Construction personnel, signed with attached the PRC ID and the PTR, signed. Also, the certificate of accreditation for materials engineer 1, signed. Attached also the letter of nominee for construction safety officer, signed. Key personnel affidavit of commitment to work on the contract, signed and notarized. The work of experience for the safety officer, also attached and signed with the driver's license and the passport attached and signed. Certificate of completion for the construction occupational safety and health. Attached certificate of completion for loss control management, also attached and signed. Letter of nominee also for electrical engineer, signed. Key personnel affidavit of commitment to work on the contract for the electrical engineer, signed and notarized. Work experience for the electrical engineer, attached and signed. We attach the PRC ID and the PTR, signed. Letter of nominee for master plumber, attached and signed. Key personal affidavit of commitment to work on the contract, signed and notarized for the master plumber. Work experience for master plumber also attached and signed with PRC ID and PTR are signed. Letter of nominee for foreman, attached. Key personal affidavit of commitment to work on the contract, signed and attached. Work experience for the foreman, signed. Also attached here is the driver's license, signed. List of contract major construction and laboratory equipment units to be assigned to the contract, supported by certifications of availability, backhoe, bar bender, bar cutter, cutting outfit, one bagger mixer, jackhammer, plate compactor, welding machine, and list. Dump truck, truck mounted crane, trailer truck, backhoe, bender, bar cutter, cutting outfit, dump truck, one bagger mixer, jackhammer, plate compactor, trailer truck, truck mounted crane, welding machine, electric driven, also attached and signed. The date of sale, attached with acknowledgement, signed and notarized. The affidavit of ownership, attached with signed and notarized. The cash invoice, purchase agreement, attached and signed with acknowledgement, signed and notarized. List of contractors, major construction and laboratory equipment units to be assigned to the contract, supported by certification of availability. The standard safe testing, brush, mortar and pestle, spatula, graduated cylinder, moisture cans, glass, plate for plastic limit test, compaction mold, field density test, chisel, rubber mallet, sand scope and spoon, straight edge, triple beam balance, concrete cylinder mold, concrete beam mold, slam cone with base, mixing bowls, thermometer, metal, yield bucket, liquid limit device, portable concrete mixer, balance heavy duty, triple beam balance, modified compaction hammer, mixing bowl, pan, shovel, crowbar, scale, vertical capping set, vertical cylinder capper with capping plate, carton capping compound. Signed. Affidavit of ownership also signed and attached. Attach also a second page for the affidavit of ownership, signed and notarized, certification, signed, inspection report, material testing equipment also signed and attached, statement of availability of key personnel and equipment attached and signed, additional technical requirements for civil works project for public bidding, signed and notarized, omnibus sworn statement attached and signed, and also the second page for the omnibus sworn statement, signed and notarized. With attached also the driver's license ID and the, the voter's ID attached and signed. The payment details, the annual income tax attached, annual income tax attached, annual income tax return attached also. All the pertinent documents attached and every pages are signed. Statement of management responsibilities for annual income tax return attached and signed. The independent auditor's report also attached and signed. Statement of financial position, a statement of comprehensive income, statement of cash flow, statement of charges and equity. All the mentioned documents attached and signed on every pages. Inventory, signed. The affidavit of site inspection, signed and notarized. Also, the JOTAG pictures attached and signed. And the net financial contracting capacity financial documents for eligibility check attached and signed. And no joint venture agreement attached and signed. That's all, Mr. Chair.
Mingo construction compliance equal technical component as
Mr. Chair,
Okay.
can we verify the original technical document, the expiry date of the license of the materials engineer?
The expiration or valid for the PRC ID for the materials engineer is on June 8, 2026. Lab.
The original schedule of opening bid is on before June 4, 2026. So I think we can consider that one, because they have submitted the documents, I think, before June 4 originally. For we have, so ano sa sila nag-submit ng DD documents June 2. So we have received the documents June 2. So I think, okay, we can proceed with that.
Thank you.
So if ever he will win, the contract will win for his contract ID, he will submit the updated. Okay, so proceed for the opening of the financial proposal. Okay lang mo sa balik sa
Technician is evident comparison.
for the financial component of Mimico construction for contract ID 25-20-0136. Contract name, contract location, correct. Bid form, duly signed, summary bid prices also signed, bill of quantities also signed. Detailed estimate of the time on every pages. Cash flow by quarter, payment schedule also signed. With the bid amount offered. Words, 17,488,925 pesos and 62 centavos. 17,488,925 pesos 62 centavos. In figures, 17, 488, 925.6.
Copy, sir.
So we will now open the technical documents from Bureau of Construction for contract ID 25 and basic.
We'll now read the technical component for the LBRO construction and supply for the project 25-20-136. Last mile school program, Santo Rosario Elementary School, BACUAG, Surigao del Norte. Location, BACUAG, Surigao del Norte. Attached here with certificate of Belgium registration, platinum membership. This certificate is valid until May 21, 2027. See, signed. Second page also signed. Also attached here is the Annex A list of eligibility documents, DTI certificate, expiration date September 18, 2028. Mayor's permit, expiration date December 31, 2026. Tax clearance, expiration date November 7, 2026. Audited financial statement, date for filing March 25, 2026. Pickup license, expiration date July 29, 2026. Signed. Also attached the DTI business permit. Signed. Mayor's permit or business permit. Attached and signed. Tax clearance certificate, attached and signed. Also attached here is the pickup license. Signed. Ongoing project. Statement of all ongoing government and private construction contracts including contracts awarded but not started, attached and signed. Attach also the notice of award, notice to proceed, contract agreements, acknowledgement, attached and signed and notarized, bill of quantities, attached, all mentioned documents, attached and signed. Attached also here is the SLCC, the statement of single largest completed contract which are similar in nature. Signed. Notice of award, notice to proceed, contract agreements, attached and signed, acknowledgement, signed and notarized, All mentioned documents attached are signed. Audited financial statement, the annual income tax return, attached. Annual income tax return, attached. All the documents, mentioned documents, attached and signed. The payment details, signed. The statement of management responsibility for income tax return attached and signed. Independent auditor's report attached and signed. The statement of representation attached and signed. Statement of financial position, statement of comprehensive income, statement of charges in owner equity, statement of cash flow, all mentioned documents attached and signed. Attached also the NFCC, the financial data, the computation of NFCC is signed. Also attached here is the ISO certificate, registration certificate for the ISO 9001-2015, attached and signed. Attached also the bid securing declaration attached and signed. Second page also signed. And the third page of signed and notarized. Also attached here is the organizational chart. Signed. Contractors personnel attached. Statement of availability of key personnel attached and signed. Attached also the contractor certificate of key personnel for the contract. Signed. Second page also signed. Key personnel affidavit of commitment to work on the contract attached and signed. And also the second page for the commitment of work. Signed and notarized with attached also the PRC ID and the PTR. Signed. Attached also the key personnel affidavit of commitment to work on the contract for the project engineer. Signed and attached also the second page. Signed and notarized. We attach the PRC ID. Signed and attached. Also the PTR. Signed. Also attached here is the report of rating. Signed. The key personnel affidavit of commitment to work on the contract for the materials engineer. Signed. Second page also signed and notarized with PRC ID and PTR. Also signed. Also certificate of accreditation for the materials engineer 1. Attached and signed. Also attached the key personnel affidavit of commitment to work on the contract for the electrical engineer. Attached and signed. Second page attached also and signed and notarized with PRC ID attached and signed. Also the PTR attached and signed. Key personnel affidavit of commitment to work on the contract for master plumber. Signed and also the second page also signed and notarized with PRC ID and PTR are signed. Key personnel affidavit of commitment to work on the contract also attached and signed. Is also the second page attached, signed and notarized. Also the ID of the employee ID attached and signed. For the key personnel affidavit of commitment to work on the contract for the construction safety and health officer attached with second page also attached with signed and notarized. Also the certification of completion for construction safety and health course attached and signed. The PTR also attached and signed. Key personnel affidavit of commitment of works on the contract for the first aider attach and sign, and second page attach, sign and notarize. Certification also attached. And Philippine Red Cross ID or certification of completion attached and signed. Also attached the pledge equipment, list of contractors, major construction equipment units to be assigned to the contract on backhoe, barbinder, cutter, cutting outfit, dump truck, conveyor mixer, jackhammer, plate compactor, welding machine. Attached and signed. Also attached the deed of sale, signed and notarized. Also the sales invoice, OR, ORCR, attached also and signed. ORCR, attached and signed, the sales invoice, the office official receipt, affidavit of ownership attached, signed and notarized, affidavit of under purchase agreement attached and notarized. For material testing, attached also the list of contractors, laboratory equipment units to be assigned to the contract, the standard testing saved, brush, liquid limit device, withdrawing tool, evaporating dish, spatula, graduated cylinder, moisture content cans, glass plate for plastic limit test, mortar and pestle, sand density cone, guide plate, chisel, rubber mallet, sand scope, spoon, straight edge, filled can, slam cone, trowel with scale, compaction mold, pan squares, spade and shovel, crowbar, triple beam balance, concrete cylinder mold, concrete beam mold, thermometer, concrete measure, mixing bowl, concrete mixer, and digital weight scale. Attach and sign. Also the certification, attach and sign. Also attached here is the inspection report for material testing equipment, signed, affidavit of ownership, also signed and attached. We notarize. Also the sales invoice, the delivery receipt, attached. All mentioned documents attached and signed. Also attach the site inspection, the affidavit of site inspection attached, signed and notarized, with the JOTAG picture attached and signed. Also attach the omnibus form statement, attached and signed, and also the second page, signed and notarized. Sworn over relationship and beneficiary ownership. Attached here is the sworn affidavit of legibility and beneficiary ownership, signed, and the second page also signed and notarized. Also attached the conflict of interest. Affidavit as to compliance of section 47, the conflict of interest, signed and notarized. The CSHP, contractors, construction safety and health program attached and signed. And the second page also signed and attached. Also the integrity pledge attached, integrity pledge for DPWH contractor attached and signed. That's all, Mr. Chair.
Ilbero Construction and Supply comply this technical component as read.
Okay. So here we now open the financial component from LBRO section. Upang pag-ID, kung pitayin mo nila ng mga basic system. For the original financial component for my BRO construction and supply for contract ID 95,136. Bid form, design. Bill of quantities and design. Another figures. Detailed estimates. Also sign. Another pages. Cash flow by quarter and business schedule also signed. The bid amount offered is 17 million. In words, 17,484,888 pesos and 32 centavos. 17,488, no, 84,888 pesos and 32 centavos. And figures 17, 484, 888.32.
Copy, sir.
For this contract ID, yes, we have two bidders submitted its bid dahil Vero Construction and Supply offered the lowest amount, which is 17,848,000. 17,484,888 pesos and 32 centavos. So this whole contract will undergo for bid evaluation and cost qualification for the declaration of the established. So we will now proceed with the third. Contract ID 2520-0137, construction of health facilities, LASICAM-PERRAL National High School, GIGAQUIT, Surigao del Norte, with an ABC of 2,388,000 from a contract duration of 50 calendar days. So for this contract ID, one contractor submitted 3D Amalgo Construction. Wala pa natin nabasa, no? Construction. So for its contract profile processing resolved, legal aspects, Amalgo Construction, merge permit, June 30, 2026, details XCDA, July 16, 2028, BR tax clearance, March 13, 2027, Philips registration, October 19, 2026, pickup license, July 26, 2026, pickup registrations, July 13, 2026, work experience pass and FCC pass. So we will now open the technical documents from Amalgo Construction.
For the original copy, technical proposal for the Amalgo construction for the project 25NG0137, construction of school health facilities, LASICAM-PERRAL National High School, GIGAQUIT, Surigao del Norte. Attach her with certificate of fellowship registration, platinum membership. This certificate is valid until October 19, 2026. Signed. And the second page also signed. Also attached here is the Annex A, list of eligibility documents. DTI certificate, expiration date July 16, 2028. Mayor's permit, expiration date June 30, 2026. Tax clearance, expiration date March 13, 2027. Audit, rated financial statement, date of filing March 30, 2026. Pickup license, expiration date July 26, 2026. Also the DTI attached here and signed. Business permit attached. Tax clearance certificate attached. All the documents I mentioned and attached and signed. The payment details also attached and signed. The filing reference number for the Bureau of Internal Revenue attached and signed. The annual income tax return attached. annual income return, attach all the documents mentioned, attach and sign. Statement, also statement of management responsibilities for annual income tax return, attach and sign. Also attached here is the report of an independent auditor, attach and sign. The statement of charges on equity, statement of cash flow, general information, attach and sign. The also attached here is the PCAG license, attach and sign. Also attached here is the statement of all ongoing government private contract, construction contracts and contract awarded by not yet started, attached and signed. Also attached here is the statement of single large completed contract which is similar in nature, attached and signed. Attached also here is the certificate of completion, contract agreement, attached and signed. The acknowledgement attached, signed and notarized, notice to proceed, notice of award, attached and signed. Also attached here is the net financial contracting capacity, the computation of NFCC, attached and signed. Also attached here is the bid securing declaration, attached and signed. The second page of the bid securing declaration attached, also signed and notarized. Also attached the organizational chart for the contract, signed. List of contract key personnel to be assigned to the contract with their qualification data, signed. Also key personnel affidavit of commitment to work of the contract for the project manager, signed and notarized with PRC ID and PTR attached and signed. Also attached here is the key personal affidavit of commitment to work on the contract for the project engineer, signed and notarized. Also attached for the project engineer, the certification of accreditation, signed. Also the PRC ID and the PTR, attached and signed. Also attached here is the key personal affidavit of commitment to work on the contract for materials engineer, attached, signed and notarized. Also the certification of accreditation of materials engineer 1, attached and signed. Also attached the PRC ID for the materials engineer. Also and the PTR attached and signed. Also attached here is the key personal affidavit of commitment to work on the contract for the electrical engineer, signed and notarized with PRC ID for the registered electrical engineer, attached and signed, and also the PTR for the electrical engineer, attached and signed. Key personal affidavit of commitment to work on the contract for the master plumber, attached, signed and notarized with his PRC ID for master plumber and the PTR attached and signed. Key personnel affidavit of commitment to work on the contract for the construction foreman, signed and notarized with the company ID, attached and signed. Also attached the key personal affidavit of commitment to work on the contract, signed and notarized. Attach also the certificate of completion for construction safety and training, signed. Attach also the affidavit, signed and notarized. Also attached here is the list of contractor's major equipment pledged to the contract, the cutting outfit, bar cutter, bar binder, one bagger mixer, welding machine, plate compactor, backhoe, dump truck. Attached and signed. We also attached here is the OR or the sales invoice attached here. Sales invoice, charge invoice attached and signed. Also the ORCR attached and signed. Also attached here is the affidavit, signed and notarized. Attached here also the list of contractors' laboratory equipment units to be assigned to the contract on standard testing safe. Pan and cover safe, brush safe, brush, dish, evaporating spatula, graduated cylinder, moisture can, mold can, con sand white plate density, jug density, straight edge, sponge sampling, chisel steel, can filled pin, mallet rubber, scoop sand, slab test set, thermometer stem, can filled tin, bucket yield, mortar and pestle liquid limit device with corner grooving tool, glass plate, cylinder mold. Attached and signed. Also the certification attached and signed. Attached also here is the inspection report for material testing equipment, signed. Also the collection receipt. Attached and signed. Sales invoice attached, signed. All the documents mentioned attached and signed. Also attached here is the affidavit of site inspection, signed and notarized. Also attached here is the JUTAG pictures, attached and signed, and also the attached here is the omnibus sworn statement, attached and signed and notarized. Affidavit as to compliance of section 11E4 or conflict of interest, attached, signed and notarized. And also attached here is the sworn affidavit of eligibility and beneficiary ownership, signed, and the second page signed and notarized. That's all, Mr. Chair.
Amalgo Construction complied technical document component as well.
We will now open the financial document from Amalgo Construction for compatibility by 00137. For the original financial proposal of Amalgo Construction for contract ID 25 NG0137, contract name, contract location, correct? Bid form, the design, below quantities also signed. Detailed estimates also signed, number of pages, cash flow by quarter also signed. The bid amount offered in Burge, 2,387,045 pesos and 48 centavos. 2,387,045 pesos and 48 centavos. In figures 2,387,045.48.
Copy, sir.
So since Amalgo Construction is a loan bidder for contract ID 59137, therefore Amalgo to be go for post qualification and evaluation that will be conducted by the technical working group for the declaration of is calculated at responsibility. So we will now proceed with contract ID 26NG19 for Capital Bridge with bridge number B00991 and along the Davao Coastal Road, the SURIGAO del Norte, with an ABC of 23,689,540,000. The calculation of funded certificate days. So for this contract ID, we have one loan bidder also, the DPWH Construction Incorporated. So I think na tapos na ito basa kayo ng technical document ng Dublao. If it's okay with the body na gusto lang ang sa financial. I will just read the technical and financial aspects of terms contract profile processing result of DPWH, work experience pass, NFCC pass. So we'll simultaneously open the technical and financial document of 82 law for contract ID 26-0019. Kanina lang na wala siya ng kung ano lang yung financial nabasa na ito, technical. For the original financial component of itong law for contract ID 26-0019, contract name, contract location, correct. Bid form, to decline, bill of quantities, also sign, detailed statement, also sign, cash flow by quarter and payment schedule, also sign, with the bid amount offered of inwards 23,665,825 pesos and 74 centavos. 23,665,825 pesos and 74 centavos. In figures 23, 665, 825.74.
Copy, sir.
So since AT Dumlao is a low bidder for this contract ID, therefore this contractor will undergo for post-qualification and bid evaluation that will be conducted by the technical working group for the declaration of loan is calculated and responsibly. We will proceed with the last contract ID 26-0020, MAPASO Bridge. Bridge ID number B003-00976 MN along SURIGAO-DAVAO Coastal Road to SURIGAO del Norte with an ABC of 13,097,700 pesos with a contract duration of 231 calendar days. So for this contract ID, if the same contractor submitted its bid, we have a low bidder, the AT Dumlao Construction Incorporated. Since same sa gapo ni kanina, diretso lang at open ang iyang financial at technical simultaneously. So for its legal aspects, for its technical and financial aspects, so AT Dumlao, work experience pass, NFCC pass. For the original financial component, AP Dumlao Construction Incorporated for contract ID 26-0020, pasok bridge, right? Bid form, bill quantities, sign, Lunch, detail estimate also signed. Cash flow, the partner payment schedule also signed. Please read the amount offered in words. 13,096,176 pesos and 7 centavos. 13,096,176 pesos and 7 centavos. Figures 13, 096, 176.07.
Copy, sir.
So since AK Dumlao is a known bidder also for this contract ID, this contractor will undergo for post-qualification and complete evaluation that will be conducted by the technical working group for the declaration of laws related and responsibility. I think that ends the for this morning. Any other concern from the block member? So I would like to remind the first project, I think it's long bigger, we will have to re-advertise the said project. Schedule na lang secretariat for the advertisement of the said contract. Any other concern? Hearing none, please